Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you guys all back to my channel. If you guys are new here, thanks for coming. And if you guys are my oldies but goodies, thanks for coming back. And today we are doing a travel video. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit that little bell for notifications. Since as usual, YouTube keeps changing the algorithm that nobody asked them to put in the first place. So, what am I talking about for this travel video? This travel video is how to start planning for an international trip between a year to 6 months out. So me and my close friends, we always plan trips for international trips, but we plan them super early. And I get a lot of questions from people asking me, how do I plan my trips? You know, what do I do? What don't I do? Like, tell them something. So I decided to not only tell them, but to also tell you guys in this video. The first thing that you should decide is location, obviously. But the way that we pick locations, if we are planning the trip by ourselves, without a travel group or anything, then we usually start looking at plane tickets and seeing the locations that are, seems to be a little lower in ticket prices, because season also obviously matters when you're traveling to certain places. So we normally get an idea of which place we want to go. We do some research about like weather, but also we use the travel.gov site because it's a sick world we live in. You don't for example, we wanted to go to Cape Town, South Africa, but we decided that because they're having a water crisis, that's probably not the best place for us to go right now. Makes total sense, but these are the kind of things that you need to look up because you kind of want to see what's going on in the particular country that you want to visit anyway. You want to see, is there a lot of crime? Specifically, is there a lot of crimes geared towards Americans? I mean, again, it's a sick world. Some things you don't think to look at, but I've been traveling most of my life, and these are the kind of things you consider. Another thing we look at when it comes to traveling to other countries and picking a spot is we just set alerts. So the Hopper app is good. But with international trips, it's a little tricky, so I recommend using at least 3 other sites. And we decide that, okay, we're going to buy our tickets at this particular month, and this is the range that we're guessing it's going to be in. Unless we get like a checker like, hey, this ticket's super cheap. So I recommend doing it with a group because then you guys can check prices and all that stuff and just start saving your money early. You already know that for an international trip, could cost anywhere between $200 to $1,000. It really depends on where you're going and how long you're going. And I know that there's tons of YouTube travel gurus that travel to other countries for $150 and but some of that is sponsored. So yeah. The next thing that you should decide, for example, we have traveled by ourselves, but we are traveling with a travel group. I will leave the website to the travel group that we're traveling with down below in the description box. So for that, we're paying monthly installments for the trip, and we had to pay for our own plane ticket. So that just takes away so much. They give you an itinerary of everything that we're gonna do on the trip. We liked it. My friend used them to take a trip to Kenya, and she loved it. So we're just gonna continue that with a trip to Morocco. So with Morocco, I know that. Unfortunately, I've told some people that aren't my friends, of course, but I told them that I was planning a trip to Morocco, and their first question to me was immediately like, why? That's an Arabic country, right? They're Muslims. And that type of ignorance, I can't stand it. But it is something to take into consideration because do not go somewhere and just be American, if that makes sense. Research their culture. Understand that some places don't want you walking around in your booty shorts and your boobs out. Some places want you to be a little bit more modest. Now, again, because this is a country that is a little more conservative, you do want to make sure that there are specific rules that you need to know when you travel to another country, because you don't want to end up in jail in another country. The next thing that we also do is using travel.gov. We also look up the embassy and the phone number. We look up vaccinations because some countries require you to carry your shot cards with you. We look up entrance and exit fees because some countries have those. Like Costa Rica has an exit fee. So we look up those. We look up some countries have export or import restrictions. So for example, for Morocco, you're not allowed to travel with more than a specific amount of their currency when you leave or enter the state or enter the country, sorry. So like you have to kind of like, it requires research. In my opinion, that's why we plan our trips so far out in advance, because it kind of gives us an idea of, you know, oh, I might need to schedule a doctor's appointment because I need to get the following vaccinations, you know, or I need to get my shot card records, make sure that they're up to date and, you know, have 2 copies, or I need to make sure that my passport's all together. So, you know, it just works out that kind of way. Another reason that we like to plan our trips out early is because we like to shop off season for clothes that we want to bring on our trips. Excuse me. By that, I mean that, for example, we are traveling to Morocco at a time where it's going to be hot. But we decided to start planning this trip to Morocco, I think in like February. So I'm going to be looking for clothes that are a little bit more conservative, but also like cotton, you know, things that breathe. So I create a Pinterest outfit board where I decide on my hairstyle. If I'm going to get somebody to do my hair, I even go as far as to book the appointment now, if I can. Or I might even, if I'm trying out a hairstylist, I can go get my hair done right now, decide if I like her, and then use her again when it's time for my trip to come up. And that just saves me money. But yeah, like I plan out my outfits and then since it's Pinterest, I can carry it with me. So if we are shopping or something and it's like, oh, I don't have that. Like some of the outfits you might have in your closet already and some of them you don't. But the more time you have to plan, the more time you don't have to worry about running to the store, you know, the weekend before the trip, trying to find everything you need. Another resource that we use when we are planning our trips is to actually read other travel bloggers and vloggers videos. We read their posts because they've been there already, so they can kind of tell you, you know, here's some things you should look out for and stuff like that. So with that, I mean, we literally found a whole blog written about the things you could buy in Morocco, and it's because of that particular blog that I already know my budget, and I already know that I need to travel with a duffel bag inside of my suitcase because I just want to make sure that I have enough to carry back because it's just going to be like that. So when we finally because we bought our tickets already for Morocco, when we bought our tickets, the easiest way to do it, especially if you and your friends do not live in the same state, is the arrival time to the location. That's what you should be booking your flights to coordinate on. Some people, they do like to fly, you know, into a specific state and you all fly together. That's also totally fine. But usually from a money standpoint, it's cheaper to just fly from wherever you live and then just meet there. So for example, my trip is I'm actually leaving from Houston to Detroit, from Detroit to Amsterdam, from Amsterdam to Morocco. It's gonna be a long trip, but I'm gonna sleep most of it. But the way that we coordinated our flights is coincidentally everybody's flights end up in Amsterdam within an hour of each other. And then we all end up on the same flight to Morocco. So we're still meeting up, which I still recommend you meet up. Figure out the time so that you can meet up at least at the end part of the trip. And once we booked our tickets, I will say this is the first flight that I've ever booked where I got a notification saying that I have to bring my passport, the card that I purchased the ticket with, and the receipt, like the confirmation number thing. I have to take it up to Delta and like verify my identity and all that stuff. I haven't done it yet. If I reach any complications with that, I'll do another video about that. But I did print it all out. I have it. And since I got to travel this weekend, I'm going to go to Delta while I'm at the airport. But yeah, that's another thing you should keep in mind. It doesn't say a time frame, but try to do it early, get it out the way. If you're like me and you are a planner girl, then I have a preliminary Morocco planning spread. If you guys want to see that, just let me know. I will post a blog and post on Instagram for you guys. But I have another one that I'm going to do when it gets closer to the trip. So these are all the things that I just plan on doing, for the next 5 months. I also recommend that when you book your ticket, your flight ticket, also book your transportation to and from the airport. So if you have somebody that's going to take you, that's also awesome. But if you're like me, I booked my Super Shuttle already because I'm going to be gone for 10 days and it's cheaper to just do Super Shuttle. I don't like Super Shuttle, but it's whatever. I think I might end up just doing Uber. I don't know. We'll see. But again, book all of that at the same time so you can take all the confirmations and put it in one spot. All of my confirmations and stuff is with my passport. That way I can just keep it all together and I don't have to worry about anything getting out of the way. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do. If we start planning a trip out, more than 6 months at a time, that's how we plan our trips. It helps you save money. It gives you a better peace of mind. It gives everybody who wants to participate an opportunity to participate, because in our particular group, we don't always all travel together, but we always give each other the opportunity, like, hey, do you want to go? Because you still got to pay your own way. So if we give you a long enough time in advance to get it together, then you don't have to worry about it, right? So I guess my question to you guys is, do you like traveling? Have you traveled anywhere recently? Do you plan on traveling anywhere this year? Beyonce in Paris or anything like that? Go ahead and leave that down for me in the description. Down for me in the comments section. Again, thank you guys so much for checking out my channel, and until the next time, guys, bye.